Ah, this is one of my favorites. Probably won't get any since they've gotten so expensive, but my goodness. Oh my gosh, memory unlocked. Today I'm back at St. Louis Comics and Toys, located in St. Charles, Missouri. I found this store last year, and you might remember they had a whole bunch of great G.I. Joes. I got a tour of the back room. If you didn't catch that video before, make sure you check it out. It's a really great little shop, and this time I'm here because they invited me to come in and do a book signing, which I am so excited for. So I'm all set up here in the store. I'm gonna meet some viewers from my channel here to pick up the book or get their book autographed. But you know me, I'm sitting here in a toy store all day, so I'm definitely gonna be doing some toy hunting if time allows. Spoiler alert, I definitely did some toy hunting. I got a video here, right? So of course I do want to start by giving a massive shout out to everybody who came out to the store that day to talk to me, pick up a copy of the book, just hang out. It was a really awesome experience. I always love getting a chance to do stuff like this. And it's awesome just, getting the opportunity to share my passion with people a la the book, The Toys of Masters of the Universe. So thank you guys very much. So the store has actually changed quite a bit since I was here last summer. There's a lot of new stock, they've rearranged a little bit, and that's great. So there's a lot of new things here to look at from the last visit. And one thing about setting up inside of a toy store is that you spend an awful lot of time just kind of staring at all the toys around you that are beckoning you to buy them and take them home. For example, I'm right next to this glass case, and I think this was done on purpose. I'm right next to this glass case that is filled with some incredibly cool Masters of the Universe vintage merchandise. And the one thing that's in here that is really catching my attention is the vintage He-Man and Skeletor walkie-talkie set. Now, I saw these the last time I was here because they were in the back room when I did some digging. If you saw that video, you might remember me kind of playing with these. Now they're here on display for sale in the store. And I love vintage Masters of the Universe merchandise. Weird stuff like this is exciting for me. And I'm just staring at these things all day. You guys want to start placing bets on if I came home with those or not? Also, there's this wall, behind me, wrapped around me where they had my table set up. That's just a baggy wall. It's filled with loose figures. And so, of course, on downtime, I'm looking through all these bags just to see what treasures I could find. Oh, sweet. Here's some Dick Tracy figures hanging on the wall. This is such a great toy line from Playmates Toys and still pretty cheap. Oh, this right here. This is James Bond Jr. This is Odd Job, believe it or not, in a sweet 90s hip-hop outfit. Got some Dungeons and Dragons up here. His horn's broken on his helmet, but still, that's great. Good price. Army Ants and I think Wreck-It Ralph. This Ryu, I think, is one of the Toy Biz releases. Oh, and I love this alien figure from the Independence Day toy line. I always love the look of this. It's got this great sparkly blue effect to it. Let's open it up here because there should be a little bendy alien. Nah, the figure's not in there. It's just the little cardboard cutout from the packaging. But still, it's a cool looking figure overall. And these guys are Chuck Norris Karate Commandos. Some good stuff up here. All right, so things have died down a bit with the book signing and everything, so now is my chance to really get out there and start looking around the store just to see what cool things stand out to me before it's time for the store to close for the day. These old LJ and Roger Rabbit figures are pretty sweet, but look at these. I've actually never seen these before. UFO Files. It's a line of bendy alien figures, and I don't know, these really jumped out at me because I love some of the designs here. I also love that cross cell on the back. It doesn't actually show the aliens. But just look at how weird some of these figures are. And I actually love the colors on this one, the yellow and the green. I think they're supposed to be designed after actual, like, supposed real aliens that people have seen. Like, this guy right here is pretty great. He's got a little bit of like a Star Wars hammerhead feel to the shape of his head there. Oh, look at this dude. Those long stretched out arms. He's got almost like this xenomorph look to the design of his body. But wow, what like a really cool batch of weirdos. Like just a fun little bendy toy line. I have never heard of these before, and they're $5. But these are pretty cool. This is one of my favorites. This is the Master of the Universe 3D wall decoration, and you can see the size of this thing. This huge decorative piece that's meant to hang on your wall. This is Man-at-Arms, obviously. $125 price tag on this. But what's really interesting about these is the fact that some of them were offered blister carded just like this. But then other versions were boxed like this, like He-Man back there. So look at that. First of all, it's a gorgeous sculpt. It's massive, huge, huge decorative piece standing on a rock with his name. And the box here, crazy enough, is actually the more elusive version, which is why this one commands a $500 price. Pretty rare piece. These have only gone up in value over the years, and there's 4 different ones with He-Man, Skeletor, Orko, and Man-at-Arms. I don't have any of these. I've stared at these for years. Probably won't get any since they've gotten so expensive, but my goodness. What a gorgeous, gorgeous piece. Oh my gosh, memory unlocked. Sometimes I see things that I completely forgot existed, and it blows my mind. Does anybody remember Things? Totally hilarious, incredibly neat games of skill? That is quite the acronym there. But yeah, these were little wind-up games. This one is Sir Ring-a-Lot. Capture the rings from the fly-by-night bats. $10? This is very tempting.
I've got a thing for gold, really gonna make a monkey out of this big fella. Gotta roll the barrels before he pops.
I've got a thing for Dr. Wacko. Gonna flip his lids before he flips his top. Do it all before the timer stops. I've got a thing for things.
Try all 3 new things: Gorilla, Dr. Wacko, and Astronaut.
I've got a thing for astronauts, gotta save them all before the timer stops. Here comes the alien licking his chops. I've got a thing for things.
Collect all the things for Milton Bradley.
If you're around my age, you probably remember the craze of Saturday morning cartoons that were sort of like the kids' versions of former popular cartoons, hence the Flintstone Kids. This is a line based on the animated series, the Saturday morning cartoon that was put out by Coleco, I believe in 1986. So the back half of the 1980s there. And it's a really cool line of figures. So great character selection, with each one of these coming with their own little vehicle of sorts. Like Fred Flintstone comes with his alligator skateboard. We've got Betty Jean Bricker, obviously she's a kid. She's not married yet. Comes with her sea serpent scooter. Barney Rubble comes with his soap box racer. Oh, this one's great. Dino. He's got a little prehistoric pull wagon. Look, you can put his figure standing in the back while Dino kind of pulls it along. Dream Chip Gemstone. I haven't seen this cartoon so long, I don't even remember this character. Fang, the toothed tiger, saber-toothed tiger baby, and her Stone Age baby carriage. All right, but this one's got to be the best one, right? It's KV Jr. I guess this is Captain Caveman's boy, right? Because I think this was a different segment of the show, right? It was Captain Caveman and KV Jr., if I remember correctly. I might be completely mistaken. But KV Jr. here comes with his turtle shell rider. And one thing that's really cool, if we look at the back of this box here, you can really see how cool this toy line was. Look at these play sets. You could really build out a very cool prehistoric world. Look at that bedrock. That kid seems happy about it. Oh, Bedrock Airlines. I think James Bond Jr. kind of falls in the same category as like Flintstones Kids, an animated series about James Bond Jr., James Bond's son. This was a line of figures that was produced by Hasbro, and I gotta be honest, I'm digging these bright pink card backs. I mean, look, this is basically Ninja Force James Bond Jr. right here. Look at this card. This has actually become a relatively cheap line to collect if it's something that you're into. And it does feature some classic James Bond villains, although they are sort of like 90s-ified. So we've got Dr. No. We've got Jaws, probably one of the coolest figures in the line right there. Here's IQ. Always interesting the way they did his robe, right? His lab coat. They just kind of like drew on the pockets and all the gadgets in it.
It's a James Bond Jr. secret mission, but scum is ready. Walker the Plank hooks IQ. Jaws is having a snack. Odd Job is flipping his lid. But IQ packs a punch, and James Bond Jr. dives into action. Mission accomplished. James Bond Jr. Figures and vehicles sold separately.
Wow, check this out. This is something I'm not sure I've ever run into. This is from the animated series Mask toy line. And somebody stop me. It's a crazy vehicle. I'm not even sure I knew that they made vehicles. I knew of this toy line. But wow, this is a really, really wild looking vehicle. I love the colors on that. The design is really cool. It's the Mask Eye Poppin' Street Machine. What a mouthful. Looks like it was on clearance at some point. $30 now. Oh my gosh, look at the missiles for the eyes. That is so insane. What a cool toy. I love it. Oh man, it's been a while since I've seen one of these Tarzan figures. This is Numa, the Golden Lion. I do love all that vac metal, so I don't know, eventually. There's a good selection of Kenner Alien stuff here, and specifically these Aliens versus Marines sets. These are pretty cool. You got Drake over there. Here's Hudson versus the Scorpion Alien. It's the same as that split apart Scorpion Alien from the single cards. Different paint deco. O'Malley versus the Queen Facehugger, and probably the rarest one or hardest one to get is Vasquez with the Night Cougar Alien here. These are definitely a bit more obscure. You can see the price tags. Not bad. They got some of the single-carded Marines up here. They are a lot cheaper than these 2-packs, but these are awesome to see. I actually don't have any of these 2-packs in my collection, so these are definitely tempting. It's definitely something I want to pick up at some point. Cool stuff. I also really love these X-Men pocket comics. If you've never seen these before, you can basically kind of consider these similar to Mighty Max playsets, with the idea being that these are comic books that open up into little playsets with micro figures. They're not quite as detailed as something like Mighty Max, but I still think that they're a lot of fun. There's 4 different sets you can see here, like Cyclops and Magneto and the Jet Hangar, which is pretty cool. Here's another Magneto, but this one comes with Beast. There's Wolverine with Omega Red and a spy mission. These are actually pretty sweet, and I have a few at home, but I don't have all of these. All right, so the day is drawing to the close, and with it, so is the store. But I had an incredible time doing a book signing here at St. Louis Comics and Toys. Seriously, if you guys are ever in the area of St. Louis, St. Charles, Missouri, definitely look this place up. It's a great shop that is absolutely packed with toys and comic books and video games. Lots of amazing stuff. You're sure to find something in here, and the staff is incredible. Again, massive shout out to every single person that came to visit me that day. I appreciate all of you. And now, my friends, the moment you've all been waiting for, it's time for my haul. So let's start with a few gifts that were given to me at the book signing, starting with this incredibly cool pack of vintage Masters of the Universe War and Conquer card game. Now, this is great, and I do actually have one of these at home already, but this is awesome. It's in a bit of beat up shape, but that's perfect for like opening this set up and actually playing the game. And I love the artwork on these cards. Speaking of cards, I was also gifted these incredibly cool trading cards and stickers from the Retro Drive Blood Drive parody card line. These were given to me by the creator, and they are so well done. I love the artwork on here. I love this goofy little bat character. These are rad. And man, talk about creative people. I was also gifted these amazing Masters of the Universe custom action figures. These are a mishmash of like molded casted resin parts, like custom parts, as well as like painting on figures themselves. They are like a mishmash of character designs there. I love them. I especially love the Mosquitor guy. I asked what we should name him, and I was told his name is Moss Skeetor because of the Mossman parts and the I love it. I love it so much. These are incredible. I'm so happy to add these to my collection. As for the things that I bought while I was at the store, well, I found this incredibly cool vintage Masters of the Universe storybook with that beautiful Bruce Timm artwork in there. This, of course, focuses on the Fright Zone playset, which is so awesome. I actually did not have this book at home. And I picked up that Milton Bradley Things set. This one is called Sir Ring-a-Lot. These are incredible. So the cool thing is this was already open, so I pulled it out. It's complete inside. It's a wind-up. You don't need batteries for this. You just wind it up. And then these little bats fly from the belfry. They have magnets that pick up these little metal rings. And you're supposed to push the button to get the knight to like hook the rings with the lance. It's incredibly difficult. I've only been able to do it a few times, but I love this. And now I have this strong urge to find more Milton Bradley things, because these are so cool. And finally, I did it. I picked up those vintage Masters of the Universe walkie-talkies, and they are awesome. First of all, you know it's old school when there's a wire that connects them together. They're not even wireless walkie-talkies. They got this super long wire between them so that you can't even get that far apart to do the walkie-talkie thing. But they're cool. I love the little sculpted He-Man and Skeletor on them. Like I said, I love weird vintage merchandise like this, so I'm incredibly happy that I was able to add these to my growing Masters of the Universe collection, which might be just too big. I got so much stuff, but I love it. I love it all. Hey guys, thank you so very much for joining me for another episode of Toy Hunting with Pixel Dan. I hope you enjoyed this one. Special shout out once again to everybody who came to the shop, everybody over at St. Louis Comics and Toys, and of course, all of my supporters over on Patreon. You guys are amazing. Thank you all so much. But thank you to every single one of you who continue to come here to the new channel and watch these episodes. If you haven't done so already, please consider hitting the subscribe button. There's a new episode of Toy Hunting dropping every Saturday here on this channel. I'm always going somewhere different, checking things out, finding cool things to bring back to my collection. Thank you all so very much for watching. Have a great rest of your weekend. And until next time, my friends.